Hey guys, before we get into today's video, I really need to request that you guys watch the entirety of this video. It's very important that basically both sides are understood and that this is not all doom and gloom for this game. It is not doom and gloom. Yes, you are not able to download it anymore, and there will be workarounds for people to be able to still play this, but the servers are not shutting down. The game is not shutting down. If this game is on your PC, you will be able to play it. Do not uninstall the game. Show support. Please listen to the video. And out of a request, and I'm sorry I'm stumbling, from the ElDewrito team, please do not harass, do not attack, do not threaten people that work at 343 Industries or Microsoft. We need to act calm, we need to act mature, and we need to try and be civil about this, because if not, things could be worse. If we act uncivil, then basically they aren't going to take our criticisms seriously. So please, enjoy the video, enjoy the discussion, and I'll see you guys later. Hey everyone, GamerJlee here, and welcome back to another video. And this is a video that I was really hoping that I wasn't going to have to make, but I knew most likely it was eventually going to happen. Now, as you guys can see on my screen, there is a post here by 343 Industries 6 hours ago. It might be updated because I haven't refreshed this page because I've been trying to do this video quite a few times. But before we get started, and with me is Quakeman224. Say hello, Quakeman.
Hello.
Before we get started, I want to state two things. First of all, Microsoft and 343 Industries have the right to protect their assets. Doesn't mean that I agree that they should have done it in this case. That's just my personal opinion, and I know that a lot of people in the community are very disappointed by this choice of 343 Industries and Microsoft, but we'll continue on this and give our opinions. Secondly, out of respect for the ElDewrito team, who I have much respect for, who are very passionate Halo community members, who have given us something that a lot of people have requested for years from 343 Industries, from Microsoft. They've given us something that we've requested. I will not attack, I will not slander, I will not harass anyone from Microsoft or 343 Industries. I won't curse anyone out in this video. I'm just going to explain my frustration and my disappointment. That is all. I'm not going to call them a-holes. I'm not going to call them this, that, or the other thing. I'm just going to be brutally honest with my opinion, like I always am. And with me I have Shane, so we're going to go through these two articles. First one being by 343 Industries, and the second one being by the blog of the ElDewrito team. But let's start off with the Microsoft one, as that is the one that hit the fan and literally stirred the pot on Twitter. So, Shane, if you'd like to start off by reading the actual opening segment of this post.
Absolutely, I can. So the post starts with, today we want to let our community know that Microsoft has initiated actions to protect its Halo intellectual property in the wake of the recent ElDewrito PC release. Community-created content has long been a key pillar in the Halo franchise and something we have continuously sought to support. From the early beginnings of Red vs. Blue to Forge Mag maps, modes to the Halo Custom Edition to the original released fan creations of Installation 01. These projects, are others like them, are one key factor in common. They fit within Microsoft's established content usage guidelines. Back in 2000.
I was gonna go one piece at a time, but
got it. All right, I'll stop.
You're all good. You're all good. Now you can give your opinion on this too. Now, when it comes to the situation of Red vs. Blue, Forge made maps and modes, as well as Halo Custom Edition, there are a few different things. One, Red vs. Blue is a Microsoft, or not Red vs. Blue, but what they use to make Red vs. Blue is a Microsoft-owned property, which was the original Halo, as we all know. But it kind of was in that realm of early internet fair use. Wouldn't you say, Shane?
It was a bit complicated because they were using the games to create something which, again, in history of machinima, we have something called Diary of the Camper from Quake to give a bit of history. So it's nothing new in terms of people making that. The difference was when they created it, they were kind of selling it, which is where that word gray area became a problem. And Rooster Teeth, I forget the exact details, and I believe they're releasing a documentary soon that will explain it better. But they explained that, like, after I think maybe season 1 or 2 is when they had to have conversations with Microsoft.
Yeah, Microsoft and Bungie.
And be able to sell the products on DVDs and profit off of it. But I think they also had to give a money statement to Microsoft because of the fact that they're using the game as a template for the footage.
Right, they probably had to purchase some sort of license or something like that.
Yeah.
So then you move on to the Forge main maps and modes, which honestly, I couldn't see this being a problem due to the fact that it's in their game. It's tools that they gave us to use to make these. So I don't think that that would be a big problem. Then you move on to Halo Custom Edition, which is a mod for the original Halo PC release, which required you to have a official Halo PC key. Now, I will say this. I know hundreds of people who have gotten Halo Custom Edition, right? And they didn't buy an official game. Now, me personally, I did. I owned a copy of Halo 1 on the PC, but they didn't do that. They just downloaded it online and then found a key that was still usable and just basically copy-paste it to get it to work.
Mm-hmm.
And then they also mentioned the recent fan creation of Installation 01, which we will talk about later on as it is talked about in this article. But Shane, how about you go on with part 2 of this section?
All right. Back in 2014, Microsoft, 343, and Saber Interactive partnered to develop Halo Online, a title that was being developed exclusively for the Russian market. The game was subsequently put on an indefinite hold, but Halo Online ended up in the wild beyond in its intended audience and official scope, resulting in a DMCA takedown notice being issued by Microsoft. As time went by, Halo Online faded and fell off the radar until the recent exposure of the 0.6 update shine a new light on the current ElDewrito project. While we are humbled and inspired to see the amount of passion poured into this project, the fact remains that it was built upon Microsoft-owned assets that were never lawfully released or authorized for this purpose. As this project reverberated across the community, our team took a step back to asset the materials and explored possible avenues. While Microsoft, like any company, have responsibility to protect its IP, code, and trademark, it's not optional, in other words.
Okay, now going off of that paragraph, yes, back in 2014, Microsoft, 343 Industries, and Saber Interactive partnered to develop Halo Online. It was supposed to be a free-to-play Halo game in the Russian market, and basically how it would get paid for is through microtransactions. The game was basically put on a hiatus after, and this is coming from one of my older videos, which I will put in the corner as a card, is me talking about the shutdown of Halo Online. Basically what happened was it was a lack of communication from Microsoft on the next steps for development of Halo Online. Basically the company said, guess what, we're done. If they're not going to play ball and they're not going to talk to us, we're going to just be done. Because they're not saying a word. We waited and we waited and we waited, and Microsoft and 343 didn't say anything to them. That was their statement. And there's a video for that. Go check it out if you have time. Now, I believe the DMCA they're talking about is, I think that right around the time that this happened, there was basically which was, I believe, ElDewrito at the time, that took the game, the original Russian game, and made it available for people to play in America, in Europe, in Australia, in Germany, so on and so forth. Right, Shane?
I believe so. I mean, I actually do not know about this stuff until today.
But yeah, I know. By the way, guys, Shane knows nothing about this. I'm just pulling him along because he's one of the best readers I know, and he can help me get through this very openly. And also I would love to hear his opinion because he is someone who I have a lot of respect for, actually giving his opinion on gaming. So basically, it wasn't until recently with the exposure of the 0.6 update that it shined a new light on the current ElDewrito project. Now, this to me is bullshit. The reason why I say this is I've been doing videos on Halo Online, aka the ElDewrito mod, for a year now. I did a video a year ago whenever they shut it down. I did another video whenever I got to play it for the first time. And then I did a few other videos back and forth, basically playing it on and off again. And there had been hundreds upon hundreds of videos uploaded of Halo Online. Now this to me doesn't make sense. There's no way in hell Microsoft and 343 Industries, especially 343 Industries, did not know about this. There's no way. Would you agree with that, Shane? Because it's been all over YouTube for over a year now, before this update.
Let me give a good example of comparison. All right, and you may remember this, may have forgotten it. It's perfectly fine if you did forget.
I'll be honest. Yeah, go ahead.
You remember AM2R?
AM2R? No, I do not.
Another Metroid 2 remake.
Oh yeah, thank you.
This was a project that I forget when they started it, but they were working on it. They were constantly doing updates. They were always releasing builds. People were playing and testing them. People were spreading it around and all this other stuff. And nothing happened to it. Then they released their 1.0 patch, and immediately Nintendo snagged them. And the same question got brought up. They were working on it for a long time. Why did they just now did it? And the question, more so, it's the question about how much attention did it get? So
exactly.
Here's the thing for me, because here's something I've noticed. I knew about the ElDewrito not because of you guys, but even when you guys were playing the latest build a couple of months ago, I think, no one was playing it on Twitch. No one. There was a couple of people making videos about it, but no one was streaming it. But when ElDewrito went 0.6, I'm not kidding, 3 people I knew that aren't Halo fans were playing the Halo Online ElDewrito mod, and one of them broke 10,000 views.
So, this is just my opinion, right? I'm just gonna say this. One, I had streamed Halo Online. I actually had streamed it. I'd streamed it with Matt and Bob. Bob Plays, who's part of our Discord community, right? And I had done multiple streams on it because it was honestly a fun thing. But it just seems like to me that there's no way, whenever your job is Halo, that you wouldn't know about this. And it's been up on Reddit for years, but it seems like, and like you said, it depends on the attention. And because the numbers were insane for this update, the amount of people playing, and I will tell you this, the highest number I saw was 8,396, somewhere around there, for the amount of people playing concurrently on the ElDewrito mod. A lot of people were playing this. A lot of people were supporting this. And it's frustrating to me that it seems out of jealousy. This is just my opinion. It seems jealousy that because this mod, this way of bringing Halo, classic Halo, to the PC got more attention than Microsoft's version and 343's version, their games, that they just decide, fuck it, let's kill it. That's just my opinion, though. But you want to go on to the next paragraph?
I want to add on one thing.
Sure.
And I understand the people upsetness. I understand that people don't like this. I know people are saying, oh, this is corporate, destroying these independents, people having fun. I get it. But the people forget that we have laws for a reason. And one of the biggest things related to trademark is that if someone is infringing your trademark and you don't do anything about it, you can lose your trademark. Meaning Microsoft could lose the property of Halo that they own. They had to impose in some way, shape, or form, depending on how deep shit that particular project gets into. That's the situation. Again, I don't know copyright law. I can't go into huge detail about it. Maybe, unless it gets so big, maybe the YouTuber Leonard French will talk about it because he's a copyright attorney.
I would love to hear that from him, yeah.
That's if it's big enough for him to actually do a video or something important. But the thing is that yes, it sucks when something that people were working on or have to be destroyed because of someone else. But at the same time, it's ownership, IPs, copyright, and trademarks. And you have to understand those laws carefully You know, you can't just make a free project and everything goes fine. Like, it's great when Sega let it happen and then hired them to make the games that we saw today that we love, but not every studio is going to do that for a lot of reasons. And I can't say much more because I'm not in law, so I'm just speculating out of my ass.
All right.
That's the biggest thing people need to understand. Like, trust me, it was great when I saw the videos. But unless they had exact copyright permission from Microsoft, there is no reason it should exist. Anyways.
I respectfully disagree, but let's continue on with the article.
We'd like to clear up a few areas of confusions we've seen across the community over the past few days regarding ElDewrito and the other fan-made projects. In the case of the original Halo Custom Edition, that was a specific add-on to the Halo PC to officially empower the mod and content creation community to essentially go nuts with Halo Combat Evolve. It even required a valid Halo PC retail key,
which I mentioned earlier.
Mm-hmm. More recently, Installation 01 has garnered some buzz and even made headlines for receiving a thumbs up from 343. Installation 01 is an original work built from the ground up in a separate engine that abides by Microsoft's content usage guidelines. With Halo Online, there's a common misconception that once it was canceled, the assets were either turned over as open source or left for the community's whims as abandonware, neither of which is actually true. Not only did Microsoft issue takedown notices at the time of the original leaks, but many elements of the underlying code and content are still actively being used today and will continue to be in the future.
Okay. So from this, basically, like, when it comes to Installation 01, it is a completely different game. It is not using anything that was built upon by 343 Industries or Microsoft. It's using a completely different game engine, for example. And we've seen that multiple times through the small amount of build footage we've seen of Installation 01, as well as how they've done, you know, a number of things. Yes, there are references and remakes. They reference, you know, these are Spartans, these are elites, you know, so on and so forth. But technically it's not called Halo, it's called Installation 01. As well, whenever it comes to Halo Online was Microsoft's intellectual property. It was owned by Microsoft. It was owned by 343 Industries and Saber Interactive. When it comes to this, I'm very torn apart. You know what I mean? I understand that this was something that was never meant to be released in the United States, never meant to be released in Germany, never meant to be released in Australia. And trust me, over the past week, I've been playing with people from all those different countries. But it almost felt like it should have been let to basically run. A lot of people in the community requested, begged them to let it stay up. You know what I mean, Shane?
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is that it was left behind, and no one was touching it besides this team. And when it came to those leaks, it's a really double-edged sword. It really is. Because one, I am full support of the ElDewrito team. But I also understand where Microsoft and 343 Industries are coming from. Me and Matt and Orion got in a giant argument tonight talking about this, because I was pissed. I understand where they're coming from, but morally, it feels like for years we've been begging and asking them to give us this, and then because they wouldn't do it, someone else gave it to us, and then they said no, fuck you. That's the way I receive it as mine. But go ahead and give me your opinion, Shane.
Another thing I want to bring up from the same thing I referenced beforehand, another 2 Metroid remake. That got taken down. Everyone were getting pissed at Nintendo. They were upset with Nintendo. They were saying that they should have let it live and so on and so forth. Do you remember what happened a year later after they took that down?
I do not. They released a actual remake.
Yes, they announced a year later. They announced Metroid: Samus Returns for the 3DS, and it was a Metro 2 remake with actual mechanics that needed to be in the game and some fixes, because trust me, the original Metroid 2 game has problems, and I love the game, but it has problems, and this version's better.
Yes.
They announced that, and then it released, and it got a lot of praises. And people now understood why it was taken down because of this. Now the question is, because again, we've had speculations about Halo being on PC for the longest time. I remember, I think it was back in 2014, using a Steam database website, someone found listings for Halo Anniversary, Halo 2 Anniversary, and Halo 3 Complete listed on Steam. The moment that the most people noticed this and sent it out to all these publications, they were taken down like that.
Yes.
And Microsoft didn't say anything. They didn't deny it. They never confirmed it.
It was basically owned. It was basically put under a black marker and hidden away to never be heard of again.
And not only that, even though it's not been confirmed nor denied, that's a big thing to understand. There's a possibility that a lot of the updates that are going to Master Chief Collection will in turn be resolved for PC soon. Again, has not been confirmed, but has not been denied. Microsoft has not, Microsoft or 343 has not said anything of denying about there being a PC release because of Halo 5 being on the Windows 10. Now, granted, it wasn't good.
No, it was in my opinion, it was a slap to the face to the community, because here's the thing. The Forge, it was a great tool. It was a great tool for people who want to make amazing maps in Forge for Halo 5. But, and you know, the other fact is they did give us basically a playable way with the custom game browser to play with other people. Now, let me say a couple things about the Halo 5 Forge, right? It ran, if you wanted to use all the max settings, it would start dipping frames. You had to really optimize your settings to make the game run smoothly. It wasn't a great release. Now, what also frustrated me with this is that later on they said that they would be working on giving us uncapped frame rates as well as an FOV slider. They never ever did that. And guess what? The community, and one of the people I have to give credit to, who also is related to this project, ElDewrito, is GameJlee. GameJlee showed people how to do the FOV slider. He modded the Halo 5 Forge. Yet Microsoft never had a problem with that, and so on. They never banned anyone for modding it. They never banned anyone for messing with the FOV slider. They didn't do anything with that.
Question.
Yes.
Did they have to download a program, or could they just do it through files?
I could not say because I've never adjusted it myself.
Okay.
I would have to look because it's been a long time since I've seen it.
All right. Because my question would be, if it's something you can do within the game files, then there's no reason you can be banned.
I guarantee you that's probably how it is. I guarantee you it is like an INI file manipulation or something like that.
Yeah.
But
because if you have to download a physical program to change it, that can be a bannable offense. Because Modern Warfare 3, for example, doesn't have a FOV slider, which sucks. But people would download programs to get the FOV slider, and they would get banned. Now, granted, sometimes they don't get instantly banned; it's usually delayed. But people have gotten banned for that because it's an external program. So that is understandable. But if you can do it just within the game files, no one's going to really give a shit.
Right.
So it's difficult.
All right. Well, and hopefully GameJlee maybe might see this video and might give, some perspective on that. It really is frustrating, but why don't you continue on with the next thing? We're almost through the Microsoft post, and then we'll move on to the ElDewrito team.
Yeah. As Microsoft needs to protect its IP spun up, we reach out to members of the ElDewrito team to have an open discussion about the project and an admittedly difficult situation we found ourselves in. The ElDewrito team is understandably upset at this outcome, given at the time they've even invested in this project, but they understand the legal implications and they need to press pause on this work. One thing remains clear: the community really wants more Halo on PC. As we look ahead, we're really excited about the prospects of an official classic Halo experience making its way to PC, and we hope to be able to partner with the ElDewrito team and the broader mod and content creation community to help inform the types of experiences and features our fans desire. We have nothing to announce today, but please know that the PC community is very important to us and a top of mind as we work towards the future.
And if you want to just read off that last little bit, so then we can discuss this last part.
Yeah. We'd like to extend our thanks to the community at large and the constantly pouring as much passion into Halo. While it's unfortunately to find ourselves in the bearers of bad legal news, it is outpouring of support and excitement to inspire us together. In a partnership with this community, we believe we can really do great things in the future of Halo.
Okay. Now, let me say this. This could either be a good thing or a bad thing. And here's the problem for me. Halo within relevancy is dying. That's my opinion. People have been, basically numbers for Halo have been dropping ever since Halo Reach. Basically with Halo 4, people started dropping off, then Halo 5, so on and so forth. The thing for me is that it seems like now, because of this, they're looking at releasing a official classic Halo experience. Now, could this mean that the MCC is going to come to the PC? I don't know. I have no idea. But if so, they cannot take too long with this. They cannot take a couple years to release this, because guess what? If it does, if we get this patch for the MCC, right, this year, we're supposed to get sometime this summer, you know, and then it takes years for us to get the MCC on PC, no one's going to care. It's going to fall off in irrelevancy, and basically no one's going to support it. And all that work would be for nothing. You know, do you agree with that, Shane, or disagree?
I agree, but again, it's difficult to gauge, because there's been a lot of times where people feel like this would cause this and then it doesn't. But again, we can try to assume based off trends and idealisms. Again, I agree with the fact that if they don't release it anytime soon, it's probably going to just go off the wayside when they do release it.
Exactly.
But at the same time, the fact that there hasn't been a Halo on PC since Halo 2, and not a lot of people really know about that, because at the time you had to have Vista to play, and no one liked Vista. You know, and Halo 1 for PC, and I own it. Halo 1 for PC, it's nice, but it has problems, especially with frame interpolation. Like, even if the game is running at 90 frames, the animations are still running at 30. And instead of it being fixed correctly, like something like Quake does, it is terrible. You know, so, like, there's situations like that.
Yeah.
So, in comparison, the fact that having a Halo on PC should be such a big deal for a lot of people, because, you know, PC people back in the day have had a taste of it. And even though they weren't the greatest of taste, it was still a taste. And so they still have every possibility of doing that. Microsoft still has every possibility of doing that. And will it happen? I still feel like it's going to happen. It just, they're trying to play their cards right, and they could probably do it very stupidly as well.
Exactly. And again, here's the thing. Go ahead and finish off your statement.
Yeah. I was going to say, again, I'm not a massive Halo fan like you are. I'm only a casual player with it. But even I would probably play the game so often if it was on PC, just a little bit.
Right. Now, continuing off of this, basically, they say, we hope to be able to partner with the ElDewrito team and basically help craft the experiences that the community wants, right? I was going
to say, that's understandable. A lot of companies have done that before. Remember, a guy worked on a mod for Skyrim, and now he's working for Bethesda. You know, things like that happens. Right,
exactly. But the one thing that concerns me is that
Will they be gypped?
What?
Will they be gypped? Is that what you're thinking?
Not just that, but I'm also concerned is if basically some of the members of the ElDewrito team, which I don't know if they will or will not, basically go and they work for Microsoft and 343 Industries to partner with them. If they were going to be censored, they can't say their opinion on the Halo franchise. They can't, because here's the thing. A lot of people on the ElDewrito team have spoken out against the current version of Halo, the modern day Halo. And that's what I don't want to see. I don't want them to be censored buy that if they do partner with 343 Industries or Microsoft. You understand where I'm coming from on that?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And it is a thin road that Microsoft is going to have to be careful.
Exactly.
It's, like, again, I'm not saying that Microsoft is innocent in any way, shape, or form. You know, just like any company has some shady shit. But I get their point of view about the fact that they want to protect their IP, because that's understandable, like I mentioned before. But at the same time, they do need to understand and reconcile with the fact that this is something people want.
And we've been asking for years. And literally, and this is the thing that bugs me, is it seems like now that something got some popularity that wasn't done by Microsoft or 343 Industries, it took this long for them to realize it, when we've tweeted them, we've made forum posts, we've done thing after thing after thing, we've made millions upon millions of videos, yet now you're listening? Like,
because it's possible that they didn't have the right numbers to prove it. Because remember, MCC didn't do so well because, again, it was botched.
yes.
But even after they tried to fix it, the numbers have been not swaying, which is why they had, like, because again, it's one of the situations where people are talking the talk, but not actually being able to prove it. It's kind of like a weird example where there's a lot of TV shows. I forget which ones of examples, but there's a lot of TV shows that were about to be canceled after like 3 seasons. Then all the fans raved and rage about how much they want it back. And then after that, they decided to make a new season. And that had the worst numbers, even out of all 3 seasons combined. It's like you complained so much about wanting more of this fucking show, and then you didn't watch it. And Microsoft is running that situation possibly where it's like you have all these people wanting classic Halo to be back, but what if they actually work so hard on it and no one bought it and no one played it?
And that's the thing. Like, basically, every time that there's been, and I do understand the point of that, right? Every time there's been a you know, like whenever they made Halo 3 and such backwards compatible, people in the community said, please play the game. Please support the game. Share clips, make videos, tell them that this is what you want. And literally, the community just shut down. Basically, no one really tried, you know?
And that's the thing. It's like if you're a person, and this comes from me, because I was a person that talked so much about Quake Champions, I kind of stopped because I wanted that to do better. But it's gotten to the point that because no one has really accepted it, no matter how hard I try, no one was really wanting to play it because of the free-to-play nature, the microtransaction, the fact that it has loot boxes, and the loot box controversy got really bad, you know, because of Battlefront. And so because of that, it's causing a lot of people not like it. And then not only that, a lot of the classic Quake players just don't feel like it's the Quake game they wanted. It's fun, but it's not what they wanted.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that, because the thing for me is, and this is what I noticed about Quake Champions, is it's the abilities. That's what threw me off, that everyone's a little bit different. I understand that it's supposed to be one of those, you know, pick your hero style games, you know, AK Overwatch, AK Lawbreakers, AK so on and so forth. It's a class-based shooter, and it's an arena shooter, but I think that they wanted a equal health, equal start sort of, you know, game. Yes. You know what I mean?
Oh, no, I definitely agree with that. And I haven't tested it. Last time I played it was 2 weeks ago. I don't know if there's a mutator system where that's a feature. But the only complaints that I really have is I really wish the abilities in the game was locked for a minute. Because I don't like the fact that when a game starts, everyone has access to their abilities right at the beginning. I really wish they made it kind of like how Overwatch, you know, you have to charge your ultimate after the game starts. I wish they would do that in Quake Champions, where no one has their teleportations, their super speed, their shields, or anything like that until about 1 minute of the game playing. This will at least make people focus on using their guns all the time and focus on that before abilities go into action. I think it's a much better choice for the game. I've said that twice in the beta forums, and they didn't listen to me. You know, so there is that situation. Yeah. But the point I'm trying to get at is that if you want something, you need to try and prove it. You know, they did something that honestly I didn't think they were going to do. And I think it was released back in December where they made all of the 360 Halo games backwards compatible.
Yes.
Right?
They made the Halo 3, Halo 3 ODST, Halo Reach had already been backwards compatible, but they also did Halo Wars. You had Halo Anniversary, so on and so Halo 4.
I remember, again, trying to get exact numbers is difficult on Xbox platform last time I checked. But I think when Halo 3 got backwards compatible, I think the numbers went up and barely, I think it was reported that it barely passed 10K, but then after 2 weeks, it dipped down and was at the 1,000 player mark, and I think now it's at the 500 average.
Now, I can say one thing about that, because we're going to move on here, and I'm probably going to have some audio that played at the beginning of this, because I want people to watch this to the very end, because here's the thing, and I tweeted this out: do not uninstall Installation 01. The game is not shutting down, but Microsoft is taking down the download links. They are taking down the ways to access the game. Do not uninstall, because it's still playable. You can still play it. But
yeah, it's similar to what Nintendo did. Like, if you had AM2R downloaded, you could still play it.
Yes,
but
right.
New links on. Anyways.
But let me state one thing. When it came to that situation, it was a lot of people being nitpicky. As you know, Shane, as you know, I'm a very, when it comes to frame rate, that is a major factor to me. It's probably because, you know, in the age of the 8th generation consoles, 1080p 60 should have been the baseline. That's just my opinion. But
I understand that. I'm not arguing that it shouldn't be. Just I have other thoughts, but you know.
Yes, but what I was going to say is, even though the Halo 3 version of Halo 3 on the 360, or the Halo 3 version, the Xbox 360 version of Halo 3 was better, and I'm going to say that it was better because it actually had well done hit detection that I hope will be fixed with the MCC patch. People didn't want to go back to 30 frames 720p. And that was the reason why I think a lot of people decided to stay away from that. You know what I mean?
And I definitely understand that.
I think it's, yeah.
Because like, I understand how it's difficult to go backwards. I do that all the time because I play, like, I once was playing Resident Evil 5 days in, days out on PC. We're at 60 frames with mouse smooth and everything like that. And then I bought the PS3 version and replayed through all that. It is weird to go from 60 to 30. I get it.
Yeah.
And I would always like to play on the PC version more. It's just the game is still fun for me. And again, I thought, and feel that the reason why Microsoft and 343 did the backwards compatibility was so they could see the numbers. And I think I understand that no one really, if you were so used to MCC, you didn't want to go to the 30 frames. I get that. But I feel like people should have just drudged through that so we can try to send a message.
Exactly. And I tried to do that, and I'm going to snap my fingers once again. And yeah, that was a terrible snap. I fucking botched that. But I made it, thank you, sound effects store right there. But I made another video saying hashtag bring back Halo or something along that, begging people to try and support these classic games and get the message across that we want these, that we want classic Halo. And I think, in all honesty, ElDewrito, which we're gonna end with this statement and go over to their thing, because we're 37 minutes into this recording, and I want to get this done so that you guys have something to listen to. But excuse me, but the thing is that they got the attention. They played on the nostalgia heartstrings with their trailer. They got our attention, and they got the community to come together. And here's the thing, and I said this in my video the other day, it wasn't because this isn't just a game for the classic fan. This was also a game for the modern fan. The way that the original Halo Online played is still an option in that game. You can still have assassinations. You can still have sprint. You can still have the weird battle rifle that's overpowered and stuff that has weird attachments on it. You can still have that. It's an option because these servers are built by the community. Certain servers, I can run around with a fucking rocket launcher at 500,000 speed. Or in some servers, I can play classic Halo 3 ranked. Or in other servers, I can play Halo 4. I don't want to, but I can. But let's move on to the blog post, which I sent you a link, Shane, from the ElDewrito team. And why don't you read us here? We're going to probably go down until they start talking about statistics. And go ahead, my friend.
All right. So the response from the team. ElDewrito's 0.6 update has been everything we could have hoped and so much more. The community response and supports we have given has been exciting, humbling, above all, appreciated. We have poured our hearts and souls into this game, and you have been the best community we have ever asked for. Unfortunately, 343 Industry and Microsoft have noticed its success and have reached out to us regarding a potential legal action and have requested we temporarily halt development. You can view the article here.
Which we just read.
Yeah, and then they read the statement about that they were humble about the project, blah, blah, blah.
And that they basically, Microsoft as a company has the responsibility to protect its IP, code, and trademarks, and it's not optional in other words, which we read earlier in the video.
Yep. By the way, we're not shutting down the mod or going after the ElDewrito crew. We're enhancing action to remove the Halo Online code packages from its places being hosted. There was no cease or desist, no DMCA, just a brief conversation of what to suggest we do. What does this mean for the future of ElDewrito? To be completely honest, we do not know the answer to this question yet. Our conversation with 343 was very brief. And since ElDewrito itself is simply on an open source mod and not a Microsoft asset, the mod itself will not be taken down. However, it appears that any Microsoft assets required to play the game, the MS23 builds full of 06 games of ZTC, will likely be taken down by Microsoft. All we know is that we have been told to temporarily halt development until further information is available, and we must honor this request. During this time, please do not make threats or harass 343.
Right.
We still play 06. Yes, absolutely. Play the
hold
hell
on,
out.
Shane. Hold on one second. I want to go back for a second.
Oh, yeah. Sorry about
that. Now, I think that this part of the article got taken out of context because of them saying it's not Microsoft assets. It's not on Microsoft assets, like the Windows 10 store. Basically, you can still play it, but the downloads are going to get shut down. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I said, it's something similar that Nintendo did with AM2R. They shut down the downloads from their website and everything like that. But if you downloaded it, you could still play it.
Right. Basically what they're saying is that since ElDewrito itself is simply an open source mod and not a Microsoft asset, basically I think what they're saying is that it's not tied into the servers of Microsoft. It's not Microsoft servers and such. And it's not on the Windows 10 store and so on and so forth. That this basically, they can't just shut down the servers and so on and so forth. You can still play the game. I could open it right now and go play the servers. But you will not be able to find download links. Now, I guarantee you what this is going to start, and this is just my opinion, but we'll continue this, because as they can say, can we still play 06? If you have your installation file, if you have the file that you need to create the game, put it on a flash drive. If you want to give it to your friend, give it to them. Support the game. I'm still going to support this even though Microsoft has taken down the download link. I still want to support this because I would much rather play this than the MCC or Halo 5. Hell, even more than Halo 6, because from what I hear, this is just rumors, it's going to be a shit show. But let's continue on with, can we still play 06?
Yes, absolutely. Play the hell out of it. Create more incredible Forge creations. You can resume playing 06 as normal. It is important to know that ElDewrito itself is not being taken down. Just any of all Microsoft assets are. In the meantime, enjoy the great game that we've poured our hearts into. The number of the people that have played 06 have blown us away. At the time of writing this post, there were over 8,000 people playing, and the cool fact about it is the stats recorded just 4 days of playing. And I just want to mention, 203,000 games played in 4 days? Holy fucking shit.
Exactly. People were non-stop playing this. I played it And I explained in my video, on Friday night, I had 2 games on my mind. On 420, I had 2 games on my mind. God of War, which honestly is a great game in my opinion, and I put 4 hours into, I need to put more time into, but I've been so addicted to ElDewrito that I haven't had time to. And this, the ElDewrito mod. Basically, it became the new classic Halo game that everyone wanted to play. People wanted to play this. And most common methods of betrayal. It's talking about the different statistics of team killing. You've got methods to commit suicide. You've got medal distribution. This was all the statistics. Map distribution. Game type distribution. Like, I'm just scrolling through this. And people wanted this. People supported this. And it's... And here's the thing. I'm sure that more than 8,000 players played this. Would you agree, Shane? Because at the time, and there's screenshots of this, there was over 8,000 players at the time of writing, playing it. I guarantee you, if I log on right now, there's going to be more than that. Any opinion? Okay. Delayed Discord. But, yeah, it is something I still want to support. It is something that I still care about. And yes, like I have said, they have the right to protect their assets. They have the right to protect their intellectual property. But it's become a community kind of opinion, even by people who I disagree with, like Halo Follower, that we think that Microsoft should not have touched this. Halo Follower even said in their video that they don't think Microsoft should touch this, but only time can tell. Obviously, 4 days is enough time for Microsoft to tell. Any opinion, Shane?
Yeah. All I can say really is just keep supporting the best you can. And, like, I know people are going to be upset. And again, I'm not saying Microsoft is innocent and stuff, but you have to understand the legal ramifications in that regard. Like, the US government could come down on them if they aren't careful. That's based on my limited knowledge of the framework, obviously.
Yeah.
But as long as there's communications between ElDewrito and 343, as they said and listed in the 343 blog, that's the important thing. Because as long as there's communication, there's a possibility that the ElDewrito team could help them actually make a Halo on PC. Maybe they could help with making, Master Chief Collection once they patch it on the consoles to make that compatible with PC later down the line. Maybe they'll do that in November. Maybe that's going to be one of the reveals at E3 this year. Who knows? And that's one of the biggest things that I've always have said. Now, granted, yes, people are pissed off. And Microsoft right now has the chipset in hand. It depends on how they play it. And honestly, they need to play it the right way. Because they need to understand, people are willing to pay if you give them something they want.
Right, but if you treat them with very, in my opinion, if you treat them basically like, because we didn't do it, then it doesn't count, and we're just going to take it away, when we've been begging for years, and I'm not even kidding you, for years, for classic Halo to return. You know that. It's been begged for years for classic Halo to return, and then for probably the past couple of years, it's been begged for Halo to be on the PC again. We all know this. But to me, and this is how it feels from a community member's perspective, Microsoft and 343 stuck their fingers in their ears and went, la 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 la, I can't hear you, la 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 la. But I am going to say one last thing, and Shane, I think you can agree upon this. Please, please respect the wishes of the ElDewrito team. These guys have given us something very, very, very amazing. And for free. The most we can do is respect their wishes, and please, please do not make threats or harass 343 Industries. Please, we are better than this. As a community, we are better than this. It is our responsibility to show that we can handle this in a very responsible and diplomatic way. Because if not, if we go on Twitter and we say threats to Frank O'Connor, we say threats to Bonnie Ross, we say threats about 343 Industries, you know, and bomb threats and stuff, guess what? It's all going to go away. It will. If we act that way, we need to act civil. Would you agree? Agree, Shane? You
always should act civil.
The problem is that a lot of people get they show their heart on their sleeve.
And trust me, I get it. I will say I'm not exactly innocent myself. Long ago, I made a ranting video about Doom 3 BFD Edition, how much that pissed me off. The thing is, I know, it's hard. Sometimes we get emotional about things we love. But a lot of the times, we have to try our absolute best to try and just breathe and think rationally and understand that these are people behind accounts and stuff. You may be upset because of what they're doing, but you need to try and stay civil. Because if you're just going, they're just not going to listen to you. It's imagine if you were in a store and you're hearing a crying baby. Are you going to actually listen to them, or are you going to walk away?
Right, exactly.
If you want them to listen to us, we need to talk very collectively. And again, what I was taught in debate class is listen to arguments and don't attack a person. The moment you're saying, oh, you motherfucking Microsoft people, like, you're already losing yourself in a battle. You need to start carefully on how you construct criticism on stuff. Right. And again, it's their job, it's their choice if they want to listen to us or not. And if they don't listen to us and they don't give us a classic Halo because fans have been asking to it, but you know what? That's their fucking fault, and they're going to lose their fucking brand. Simple as that.
And here's the thing for me, and I'm gonna say this. Basically, I got back from taking my girlfriend lunch because unfortunately she didn't have anything, and I get a tweet saying they're already planning on taking it down. I said, article please, and I got sent the article, and I was as careful as I've ever been whenever it came to a situation like this, right? This is the most careful I've ever been. I wrote on Twitter, I know that Microsoft has full right to do what they must to protect their IP, but shutting down Halo Online and ElDewrito, shutting Halo Online and ElDewrito down is going to make the community turn on you even quicker at Halo and at Microsoft. Then I retweet some memes that are actually pretty funny, but I like I said, don't uninstall the mod. Don't uninstall it. Show as much support as you can and be civil. Don't call, don't tweet at Frank O'Connor or one of them that you're going to drop kick them or some shit. Don't say that you're going to, don't send in bomb threats to 343 Industries over this. Don't. Be an adult. Be responsible. We have to do this very carefully, because if not, they basically will say, no, this is how you act, then screw you. And we have to be careful. And if you're not going to do this for me, if you're not going to do this because this could backlash, do it for the ElDewrito team. Do it for them. This is their only request. And they gave us something for free. They gave us the way we wanted to play Halo online for free. If you can't do it for me, please do it for them. Please. Out of respect for them, please. But Shane, do you want any final statements, or do you think we should wrap this up?
Well, like I said, do understand the legal ramifications of the situation. I understand that if you already have anger tendencies against Microsoft, similar to if you have anger tendencies over EA because of Battlefront 2 and so on and so forth.
And people know I have anger tendencies against 343 and Microsoft.
Oh, yeah. But the thing you always have to understand is that it's easy to hate a company, but you have to understand the people who are under it and all the people who are working it. And there's a lot of decisions that are made that aren't just one person.
Yeah.
So try to stay civil about the situation. Because again, I may not be a massive Halo fan, but I know how it feels to see a series you like get bastardized. I've been through that.
Many times you have.
Yeah, I understand. But the only way you can prove this is to be civil and prove your support. Again, Have people do daily routines of playing Halo 3 on the 360 or backwards compatible. Yes, I know you may not be used to 30 FPS anymore because of Master Chief Collection, but prove the numbers, make the message known. And at the same time, like I said, they have never confirmed or denied. And the fact that in the 343 blog post that there's a possibility with ElDewrito's help that they could possibly either make a solo Halo release on PC or a PC version of Master Chief Collection, that is something to look forward to. And you never know. E3 may come to something, it might not. Keep hopes up, keep things civil, make conversations, something could happen. Simple as that.
And here's the thing, I'm not saying don't speak, and I'm gonna wrap this up because we're getting up there, but I'm not saying don't speak your mind. Don't basically say, you know, this is okay because of this. Speak your mind. If you don't think, if this is a lot of people's opinion, yes, they have the right to do it, but should they have done it? That is the thing that's being put into question here. And a lot of people, you know, people that I agree with, people that I disagree with, it seems like everyone's coming together on this and saying they shouldn't have taken it down or, you know, made them stop. But that's their right, unfortunately. That's how it works.
It is complicated in this world.
Exactly.
It is very complicated. And, I mean, there's a reason why people have to be very careful when they do things. Like, there are bands that, you know, try to do covers of their favorite songs and then they get taken down because, you know, it's copyright and people feel like, oh, they shouldn't have done that, they should have given support. It's like, yeah, but you have to understand, if you owned a product, if you own an IP right to someone and someone is using that and possibly making money off of it,
which they weren't, just to clarify.
I know they weren't, but I'm just saying, just in general, doing something to take away the brand, it could cause an issue. Again, I'm not a copyright attorney or anything like that. I can't say anything, and you could probably look online about a better understanding of it. But there is a reason why sometimes you have to protect your IP. It sounds fucked up. It sounds like Microsoft are being assholes, and I know people are going to feel that way. You have to understand that it was called Halo Online on the main menu, and it was using Halo assets even if they were custom made.
Well, and the thing is, it was using basically the foreground of what Halo Online was. Basically, you had Guardian, so on and so forth, and it basically was near the same game minus the microtransactions, better optimized, so on and so forth. You know, it was similar, and I understand why, but I think we're gonna wrap it up there. I think we should end off there. We've gone for almost an hour. We expected this to be. I even told Shane, you know, I just want you to come read because I tried recording this 6 to 7 times. I couldn't keep myself from stumbling on words, and I really, Shane, I really do appreciate you being here to, you know, be that conversation person because Matt's asleep, Orion's asleep, I have no one else to talk to, and all my Halo buddies, you know, seem to be doing so on and so forth. So I appreciate you, Shane. Link will be down in the description box below for Shane's channel. But if you guys enjoyed this video, go ahead and leave a like on it. Leave a comment what you think about the whole situation with them taking down this, and please give us your opinion. I would love to hear it and have those conversations down in the comment section down below. You can also find links to my Twitter, Twitch, Mixer, so on and so forth. But guys, we're gonna wrap this up. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. And as always, GamerJlee, QuakeMan224 signing out.